We like to call it the Supernatural Hour. And now, our hosts.
Hey, welcome to the Supernatural Hour. I'm your host, Ravyn.
This is Rogue.
This is Doc.
I'm Emmett.
And I'm Chad.
And we are coming to you today from the Attic of Despair. Is that what we're calling it these days?
The Attic of Despair.
I haven't called it that for a while.
It's been a while, huh?
I'm in denial.
We used to be in the Dungeon of Doom, but now we're in the Attic of Despair.
So we
Well,
had...
you've moved up a few floors.
We have.
That's right. 2.
So gas prices are through the roof, so Emmett and Rogue are zooming in, and we have a special guest with us today. His name is Brian James, and he's from Global United Paranormal Foundation. We are actually going to have him discuss why he's here in a minute. Brian, would you like to say hello?
Oh, hello.
All right, there we go. So we'll have you chat about what your organization is doing here in just a second. But let's go to Chad with some business first.
Hey, the business is brought to you by Castle Photo Art and Castle Nature Studio. If you're looking to get photo stuff done, check out with Castle. You can access his website through the advancedparanormal.com website. He's at the bottom of the main page, and go to the links there.
Awesome. And then we went to Peteetneet.
Peteetneet was awesome.
It's always awesome. It is so haunted. I mean, it's a school that was built in 1901. I went to grade school there. So maybe that says I'm super old. I don't know. But not only is it an old school in and of itself, in a place where there's a lot of Native American activity, but then they've turned it into a museum. And so there's a ton of old museum stuff that they brought in, trigger objects everywhere. And it was a fun night.
Yeah, very active.
Very active. We had a gal get punched in the stomach. We had one gal get attacked, and by attacked meaning you're like punched in the stomach.
Sounds like a good time. Woo! Sign me up.
We had another gal get like an attachment. Briefly, we had to take care of that. We heard knocking.
There was reported cold spots.
Mm-hmm. One of our investigators brought her husband, and he felt like something was touching the back of his neck. And so they took some pictures, and you can see like 2 wispy wisps kind of in the area of his neck. It's. I'm going to post these on TikTok, so you have to come to TikTok to see us. But it was a very active night.
Yeah,
It was incredible. Every room I went in, I felt something.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been in a building that was active literally in every room.
Every room.
Yep.
There's a room with a couple pianos, and the caretaker there says that they hear piano, the piano just playing randomly. They will not play the piano for me. Won't do it.
The ghost won't?
Nope.
And she's a piano teacher.
Yes, they're probably worried about being critiqued.
I know. I'm like, one note. No, won't do it.
That's sad.
But it was a really good night. A really good turnout from the people that got the tickets and everything else there. Peteetneet, we've done that twice now, and it's been a phenomenal venue. We will be going back. It probably won't be for a little while, but because we've done 2 of them in the last 6 months. But there's demand there. There's people that just really like that venue. It's great.
Cool old building, and then it's got like some interesting basement stuff. You go down there and you're kind of creeping back underneath the building. It was.
Right.
I didn't go on this last one, but I went on the one before, and it was fascinating.
Well, and not only is it old, but it's on top of a hill, and it just is very picturesque. It's very
Prominent,
very commanding. I mean, you just are drawn to it.
Yeah, and if you're listening to the YouTube version of the podcast, we'll put pictures of the Peteetneet school up as we're talking about this. So that school that you're seeing above us on the YouTube version, that old building, that is the Peteetneet school in Payson, Utah.
Yeah, and we're in the process of getting our May event. We're making some phone calls, so as soon as we have that, we'll put it up on the website. So if you missed Peteetneet and you're aching to go ghost hunting, give us a few days. All right, Rogue. Residentials.
All right. We had a residential somewhere I've never been before. Do I sound weird? Do we sound weird?
Sound great.
Okay, because it sounds like it's echoing.
You're a little muffly, but you're on Zoom, so.
Okay. I'll start. So we headed out to Tooele County in a snow blizzard. I think, it was a snow blizzard 5 minutes into the investigation, but what a heck of a snow blizzard coming home.
The trip
Oh.
itself was part of the adventure.
Yes,
oh my
it
gosh.
was.
On the way home, at one point I said to Chad, I'm like, are we on I-80? That's like a major freeway, people, that crosses the country. And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, the GPS says we're on I-80, so hopefully we're actually on I-80.
Yeah, it's really good when you're using the GPS to determine if you're still on the road.
Yes.
Did we get off somewhere?
Emmett and I had a similar situation. It was definitely a fun ride home. But that was a fun investigation to pull up and to have him sitting outside in his truck with his children because he has not spent a night in the house. That's an interesting beginning to an investigation, I thought.
Right, he'd leased it, and I think he said he had at least like for 3 weeks, but wasn't living in it.
Not until he got it investigated.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that he'd started to move in because the kids' bedrooms looked put together, and there was some stuff piled up in the living room, but there was not any full-on moving in when we were there.
No, and it was a great house, too.
Oh, it was a great house. I loved the layout.
Yeah, nice porch.
Yeah, it was built in the 70s. It had some of the old school wood paneling downstairs and a little bit of shag carpet in a couple of places.
Oh, yeah.
Little throwback, but very cool. But the layout was really nice. They had a nice big, it was kind of go in like a bi-level split, and you go up the stairs, and then off of the main where the kitchen was and kind of the eating area in that top level, and they had an extra room that they had added down for a great big family room down
Yeah, I
below.
liked it.
It was really nice.
So he had been complaining about knocking sounds and just kind of a feeling of dread.
And what was it in the very back that you guys went and checked out? There was something clear in the back that he hadn't really been back there on.
Right. Well, he said when he went downstairs, there was an area of the house, and he wasn't testing us per se, but he wanted to see if we picked up on the same things that he picked up on. And there was an area in the basement that he wouldn't go into, and I think he said he had some friends that wouldn't go back there. And what I found was interesting is, we kind of beelined for this area, and he's like, yep, that's the area. But I really liked what Rogue found back there. Rogue, do you want to tell us what you found?
Well, for me, I really liked the fact that it was an empty house because for me, it was really easy to just kind of, I don't know, I connected to this house very just easy. And back in that corner, I found a little old lady who I felt had lived there and I felt hadn't realized she had passed. And she was back there doing her canning and taking care of her family.
This is a room in the basement, like a storage
back
room, right?
corner, cold storage.
Very corner of the house.
Back by the furnace area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And right over there, I'm sorry.
No.
I didn't mean to talk over the top of you. That
fine.
happens with Zoom.
we
Um,
can't tell.
Yeah, and there also, one of our other members found a portal right there. So then it was interesting to me that she was kind of dizzy. And I mean, the lady with dementia, because I don't think she really understood all of the characters that had attached to her that had followed her that was also in that house, because there were many, I think we found 10 different spirits in that house.
Yeah.
3 different portals.
Yep, and there was 3 portals. We got those closed, and then we talked to a fellow. I think we named him Jason. It wasn't his actual name. We just called him that, so we didn't call him Hey You. And he had mentioned that he was through yes, no questions, of course, that he was trying to get the homeowner's attention because he wanted to cross, and he was agitated because he was trying to get help, and no one was really listening to him because he wasn't evil or malevolent or anything, but he was agitated because he wanted help. But I think because of that agitation, and I don't know if it was just maybe his character too, but the little grandma back in the storage room didn't like him because we asked him if he wanted to cross, and he said yes, and we crossed grandma too, and she, we're like, hey, grab her hand and pull her through, and she wasn't having any of that.
Yeah.
She's like, no, thank you. I will just cross
She
on my
didn't
own.
trust him.
No,
Yeah.
I think we had someone else take her through, didn't we?
We did. We had someone else that was there, grab her, that she trusted.
Because there were about 10, like you said, 10, 11 spirits, and it seemed like most of them wanted to cross over. And so I said, hey, when you see the light, run through it. So
Now you speculate that Jason was the one that shoved me as he went through
Yeah.
on his way past,
yeah,
because I was standing there, and you actually felt this. I felt him kind of like somebody was just walking up behind you and just gives you a hard shoulder, right?
right.
And that's what it felt like. But I didn't physically yield, but I felt actually like pushed forward into the circle. And you actually said, you asked me if I'd step forward.
Yeah,
You felt
'cause-
me step in front of you, but I didn't physically move, and I couldn't reply to you at that second because it was kind of taking everything I had to kind of stand my ground
Right. So
as I was getting shoved.
I had my eyes closed, and so obviously you can't see anything, but even when your eyes are
Right.
closed, there's just kind of that, you can feel if someone comes, and then there's a little bit of a shadow, and I thought, because I knew you were standing to my left, and I thought that you had walked forward a couple steps, and because I thought you were going to come tap me on the shoulder or something, and so I opened my eyes, and when I looked, you weren't where
Well,
I
that
thought
was
you
the
were.
same moment that he kind of just nudged me, shoved me from behind, and just walked right forward into the light.
Right,
So,
and that's why I'm
but-
like, Emmett, did you
Yeah.
just move? And you're like, no. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, yeah, nope, he's still where
Well,
I left him.
I could feel several of them, like they were kind of like standing behind me, looking to see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like there was literally like at least 3 standing right behind me, very close. Just kind of looking over my shoulder.
Right.
So
So
it was really intense.
yeah. So also in the home was a female spirit. She did not want to cross, and so the homeowner his youngest was a year old,
Mhm.
and she just kind of wanted to stay and hang out with baby. And she hadn't caused any trouble, and he said it was okay for her to stay there because she was acting more as a protector spirit. And then he had a medium come out and tell him previously that there was something to do with a box in the corner of the yard. And, through some yes-no questions, again, we determined that there's actually someone buried there, from a long time ago, not like in the 50s or anything. Nothing nefarious. Probably, did we decide it was her, or was it maybe a Native American that was there?
No, I think we found that it was a family member that had been cremated, and there was an urn. The
that's
box
right.
was a little urn.
The box was an urn, but it was buried in the yard. So it was a good investigation.
And we had
It was.
Denise and Candace and Denise's mother.
Uh-huh.
What's Denise's mother's name?
Laura.
Laura. I was going to say Mary, and I know that's the other one that often comes with them.
And Mary was there too. with
Oh, was
us.
Mary there too?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we had quite a group out there that night.
Right. And
It
then
was.
we had a type 3 up in a bedroom. And Emmett, you got some really cool SLS footage of that sitting on the nightstand and reaching over.
Yeah, this thing was he was interacting with you, but he was kind of toying with you. Like you'd ask him to touch that cat ball you had on the bed there, and he'd like lean way over and just touch it, then jump back to the headboard of the bed.
Yep.
Just being real skittish like that. But yeah, that was pretty intense.
Yeah. And then we decided, to get rid of him, obviously, because you don't leave type 3s in people's kids'
Homes,
bedrooms.
if you can help it.
Fair enough.
So, we're like, okay, let's get rid of this. So we go in, and I salted the door so that it would stay in the room. And then, because there's 2 windows in the room, salt the door, we'll go open a window and kick it out. I couldn't get the windows open. And I'm like, crap, I have just sealed this demonic entity in this child's room. Yay, me.
Got a playmate. Great.
But we were able to get a window open enough that we could shoo it out. But I was like, note to self, make sure the window's open before you salt the demon in the room.
Oops.
Anyway, so no, that was a good residential though. We actually have another one coming up in South Jordan. So by the next time we record, we should have another residential for you.
All right, that'll be fun.
All right, Brian, are you ready to tell us about your project? I'm excited about your project. I think it's going to be fabulous.
First of all, I'd like to say what a heck of an investigation y'all had.
It was one of our better ones, I think.
I would have loved to have been there to see that.
Well, anytime you can make it, sir, you're invited.
Yeah, he's in Washington, so it might be a bit of a drive. But
Take a plane.
anytime you're in Utah, jump on in. So yeah, tell us about your project. We've talked about it a little bit, and I think it sounds awesome.
Well, my project is an actual directory of nothing but active teams. So that way, if you have 3 other teams in Utah and you want to go tackle Asylum 49, you just collaborate with a few other teams, go down there and have yourself some fun. But the main reason I did this is if you're in Utah and you get a call from somebody in Delaware needing help with children, the first thing you're going to do is look on the web to find some sort of directory. Well, you're going to find that directory on the web, but that web directory is going to be completely outdated.
Yep, that's the experience I've had as I've looked up things.
Yeah, I went from A to Z, and yeah, there was hardly any response.
Yeah, one of the interesting things that you mentioned was that one day you sent out 1,000 emails and you only got about 50 responses back.
Yep. I don't know if anybody else has ever done this, but I hit my limit for sending emails for 24 hours.
I have not done that.
Can't say that I have either.
Yeah, and the teams that did respond back, I made sure, that they had a Facebook page, a website, YouTube, something that shows, they're a team and everything. And, the teams that we could find stuff on, we called back, and, every team on there has para-unity, and they want to be united as one. Nobody in front, nobody in back, everybody side by side.
Awesome.
And these are all confirmed active teams.
Exactly.
Now, did you have any other criteria for these teams aside from being active?
Actually, yeah. What Global's doing right now is we're doing a series of investigative events down in Arizona, and we're putting the money we do earn into the foundation, so that way we can start traveling the U.S. doing investigations. And we're going to be filming for a few different, what do they call those? The streaming shows.
Oh, nice.
And we actually want the teams that are on this directory, when we hit their state, to meet up with us for a big investigation.
Oh, that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. And Utah, there's a couple of places in Utah we'd like to hit.
I have to go
I
to...
believe
Oh, go ahead.
one was a graveyard, and then the other one was an asylum.
Yep, Asylum 49. We need to go back there. It's been a while. But every time I've gone there, it's been crazy active.
Oh, I've never been to Asylum. I'd love to do that.
Oh, yeah, we need... In fact, so right now, it used to be half, haunted house / ghost hunter haven.
Attraction. Right?
And then the other half was
like a nursing home, right?
a working nursing home, but it's not a nursing home anymore. The whole thing is open.
Oh, I didn't
So-
know the whole thing closed down.
Yeah, I haven't been there since it's been opened up, for the whole thing. So now, Brian, I think you did mention to me when we chatted a while ago that you are also looking mostly for groups that don't charge people too. Is that correct, or did I misunderstand?
These teams that I have selected do not charge their clients a single dime, as it should be.
Exactly.
And anybody that charges money, their company should be wiped out.
That being said, we have 2 aspects of our group, and our Wasatch Investigative Society for Paranormal Studies is our nonprofit group where we do that and go in and help people in their homes, like the residential investigation that we just talked about. And then our Advanced Paranormal group, which did the Peteetneet investigation, where we had 34 attendees come. We do charge for those, but that money's then used to help fund the websites and all of the things that we do, and our gratis work for the WISPs.
Residentials are never charged. People that need help are never charged.
Yeah, the way I describe it to people, it's like if you call us and you invite us to you, it's free. If we invite you to us, you got to pay tickets so we can pay for the venue.
Absolutely, the way it should be.
Yep. So now, if people, if there are ghost hunting groups out there, is there do you have a website set up yet where they can go and find these other groups? Or is that still in the works?
It's www.unitedparafound.com.
So United Parafound, FOUND.
Yep, .com.
So unitedparafound.com.
And in the YouTube version of this, we'll have that URL on the video.
Right. And then, Brian, if someone is interested and feels like they meet your criteria and would like to be listed, is there contact information on that website?
Absolutely, I do believe so. You can call Eldon McInville on there, and you can call myself and our other partner, Jason Graham, or you can just simply email us, and we'll have ourselves a good old conversation.
Awesome. Okay, so if they want to get a hold of you or find a paranormal team in another state, it's unitedparafound.com, and we'll have this up so you can see it on our YouTube version. And then if they want to email you, it's globalunitedparanormal@gmail.com. And
that is correct.
we have a comrade. A comrade? Why does that sound
I
bad?
don't know what a comrade is.
Comrade.
Comrade?
Comrade
We're
in
busting out
arms.
the Soviet speak now. Jeez Louise.
They're
I'm
invading
just-
Ukraine, so
all-
we got to start using it.
Hey.
It's Putin's fault. It's all Putin's fault.
I'm
Okay.
talking like they do on YouTube, They just have to mispronounce every other word. We have a comrade in really long paranormal names. Yay, it's not just us. Okay, so Ryan, before we move on, is there anything else you want to tell us about your group?
Yeah, just in case I forgot the website or did something wrong with it, because I just got on it the other night to check it out because it's brand new. You can go to facebook.com, search Global United Paranormal Foundation, join the group page, and on the announcements, the website's right there as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
You could
You can reach out to us at
advancedparanormal.com. Also there, we've got all sorts of swag. We've got tapestries. We got shirts. We got mugs. We got all sorts of stuff.
Notebook
Bumpers,
is
stickers.
my new. I have a tapestry now, so my new fixation is notebook.
Get a notebook. Yeah, you can also follow us on the YouTubes and TikTok. Sounds like we're going to be posting some evidence.
Yeah, in fact, I will
on
post
TikTok.
that tonight before I go to bed. So
Phenomenal.
by the time you hear this, it should be up.
All right. Check us out, advancedparanormal.com.
Hey, Emmett, do you have some equipment to chat about with us?
Yeah, just have I talked yet about using a hearing aid? to
No.
hear
What did you say?
in real time.
What was that, Emmett?
right.
It turns out that if you take your regular EVP recorder and just use some earbuds with that while you're using it, sometimes you can hear the EVPs in real time as they're happening. It's going, through the recorder and then immediately coming out in your ears instead of being stored and you hearing it later.
Is that
So-
just like regular headphone earbuds, or is that?
Anything. Just
Okay.
headphones, or just as long as you're monitoring the EVP recorder while you're using.
I was thinking we were going to have to go to like Miracle Ear or something to get
Well,
a hearing aid.
I
Just Amazon.
I picked up a $100 set, a cheapie off Amazon, battery powered. They actually look like just USB earbuds.
Are they
Exactly like-
are they Bluetooth or?
No, they just It's just a little amplifier, just a little audio amplifier in your ear.
Cool.
So you don't have to hook it up to anything. What I want to do is use the hearing aid itself. You don't need the recorder. This is more like a spirit box, I guess. So I'm wondering if any of our listeners have ever that wear hearing aids have ever heard a voice maybe that they couldn't place.
So you're basically just
Yeah.
listening in real time.
Just listening in
to
real
what the
time.
EVP might be
Right.
producing.
Picking up.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Okay,
Now,
yeah.
one caveat is these things are very sensitive, and when you turn them up, you will hear everything in the house. So I wanted to try them at Peteetneet, but the building was just way too noisy with everybody in it and the echoing and the.
Yeah, we had
Barbecue
quite a full
was.
house that night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's echoey. So to our listeners, whether you listen to us in podcast form or on YouTube, if you have hearing aids and you've investigated, we want to know if you've heard stuff that maybe
Ever heard it? Yeah, anything that shouldn't have come over that.
Cool.
Let us know, please. And if I do, I will let all of you know.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's bringing the elderly to paranormal. What was it? What was your little remark you said earlier?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm elderly. I forgot.
Oh, something. He made something funny about the elderly and the hearing aid. I'm just not funny enough. I bashed it. Never mind. Cut that out. All right.
We'll put that joke on the website later, folks.
When we remember it.
We can
But
cut
it-
in.
Trust, come back. It was hilarious.
It
Be sure
really
to come
was.
back.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
I don't know if this is going in the podcast, but we started talking about hearing aids. I took care of an old man one time who mistook his hearing aid for a cashew. And he chomped it up and swallowed it. Then he had to get scoped to pull all the little fragments out.
Oh,
It's
that's
going in the
sad.
podcast.
We were just
Is
thinking
that-
about
there's
hearing aids, and that is a memory that has been burned into my mind. This little old man who thought it was a cashew and just chomped it up.
Oh well, it's
Little
this is I'm just using cheapies for this experiment, but some of these things get pretty pricey, so I could
was a
see
nice one.
somebody really getting brokenhearted over it.
Emmett, don't think it's a cashew.
Don't chew it up.
Nope.
They're black.
Anyway,
That's good. This one was kind of more of a fleshy color.
Cashewy color?
Yeah, right next to his bowl of nuts.
this is a black one, so if it's a nut, it's burned. So I won't get eaten. Before the junk drawer, I want to remind you all about Supernatural Hour swag at advancedparanormal.com. So that is the place to get your paranormal and supernatural swag. Shop there with all the cool investigators.
And maybe hearing aids in the future.
Maybe. Here we go.
How awesome is that sound? It's a raven. Get it?
We'll take it.
Okay.
I like it.
So, Paranormal Junk Drawer has been brought to you today by the Hub Theater. We had a really awesome investigation there with our haunted teddy bear. And
We had questions about that by some of our patrons,
oh,
wondering if the teddy bear is still at the hub. They were asking that at Peteetneet the other night.
I don't know. I'll have to drive by and
We'll have to go take a look.
have to go look.
Was it a boo bear?
It was a bear, and it probably would have said boo because it was haunted as heck.
Perfect.
Okay, so if you remember, if you've been listening to us for any length of time, we have talked a little bit about a lady who was dating a pirate ghost. Do you remember? Do you
Mhm.
remember this?
Oh,
Did she get married to
no,
the pirate
yeah.
ghost?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Ew.
so. But I think this is a different lady. This is different.
Same pirate ghost?
Weird you brought this up because literally last night I just saw that on TV.
Do you remember what her name was? The pirate ghost lady?
No, but her pirate lover looked like Jack Sparrow.
Yep. So anyway, this is a different lady. We may or may not have talked about her. If we have, we've got updates. If we haven't, this will all be new. So we're going to start in December 11th of 2017. At the time, she was 27 years old. Her name is Amethyst Realm. And she dates and has had relations with, trying to keep it family friendly.
What do you mean by relations?
The SEX. she's had relations with at least 20 ghosts. in the
Wow.
past decade.
So she's a little bit of a ghost hussy.
Yes,
I
a
see.
ghost hoe.
Ghost hoe.
She's a
Okay.
ghost hoe.
A garden tool.
But she says her ultimate plan is to get pregnant by one of these ghosts. She wants to have a ghost baby.
Yeah.
A ghost baby.
Not sure how that's going to work.
Well, you could always just go to one of the old orphanages and adopt yourself one, I'm sure.
No,
You could go to an evil baby orphanage.
She wants to carry one. So she had her first encounter, we'll call it that, with a ghost about 12 years ago, and she vows never to go back to men again. Now, here's the thing. You know the phrase, once you go black, you never go back?
I've heard that.
You've heard that?
No, that's new to me.
No, it is not. You've heard that before. Once you
Yes.
Once you go black, you never go back. Well,
So I'm told.
she says once you go ghost, you never go back. And it's like, I'm sorry, Miss
gotta rhyme.
Realm. It has to rhyme. The whole point is the rhyme.
Once you go ghost, you want it the most. There
See,
you go.
that's better.
Hmm?
Really deserves the boo.
Or
You're going to boo me on that? Oh.
Do you have a sound for that on the soundboard, a boo?
There's got to be a groan of some sort.
it's not. We need to get that here where we can hook it in. It's not zooming well. See, I had when you do a ghost, then you want toast. Yours was better.
Hey.
You know, you don't
It was-
smoke a cigarette after. You have some toast after.
There you go.
But yeah, that's lame. Okay. So I made Brian laugh. Brian laughs at my jokes.
That's why Brian's invited here.
So she talks about, the passion with the ghost, right? She says she felt the ghost's presence. And so, she dressed up in lingerie, but she thinks that she maybe came on too strong because it left. So she backed off and he came back, and she said there was pressure on my thighs and breath on my neck. Don't worry, it's PG. We're good. She says, I just always felt safe. I had sex with the ghost. You can feel it. It's difficult to explain. There was weight and a weightlessness, physical breath and stroking, and the energy as well. So that's how you get pregnant with a ghost. But they fell deeply in love. She met this ghost from Australia, fell deeply in love. They dated for quite some time. They got engaged.
Do you have to have a ghost visa or ghost passport?
She didn't go quite into that depth. But this lady has done a lot of research into phantom pregnancies. And so, she is prepared. She says doctors say her sexual encounters could be explained by sleep paralysis, but she shut that down.
Okay.
She shut that down.
Couldn't be sleep paralysis.
No. She says, I don't think so because my first ghost used to follow me around the house and lure me in, so I was definitely awake.
All right.
No
And
sleep paralysis.
She does know phantom pregnancy by definition is not an actual pregnancy, right?
It is.
Just
Stop.
with a ghost baby.
Just stop. You don't
Okay.
get it.
What do I know?
You're just a
You're
doctor.
just a doctor.
You don't get this. So the interviewer asked Amethyst if having relations with the ghost ended in the big O.
Ah.
Apparently they do.
Okay.
Just in case you wonder, for her anyway. Sometimes not everybody gets the big O, but she does. She can tell the difference between the different spirits that she,
Oh, so she gets around with different spirits?
at least 20. At least
Okay.
20.
I just am amazed that she thinks phantom pregnancies result in phantoms.
They do.
Would that possibly make her a ghostitude?
I like it. We'll go with ghostitude.
A ghostitude, yeah. She has joined the Mile High Club with a ghost, just in case you wondered.
So she's been to Denver?
Okay, so here we go, Doc. Here's to answer your question. She says, I've been looking into phantom pregnancies and believe that a phantom pregnancy is actually a real pregnancy, but you have a phantom inside you rather than a human body. That's how that works.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Do they have a code for that? How do
Yeah, it's called psychosis.
So
I've
she's,
used it for similar cases.
She says phantom pregnancies are quite emphatically not what Amethyst thinks they are. It's a medical term describing an abnormal condition in which signs of pregnancy such as nausea and abdominal swelling are present in a woman who is not pregnant. She disagrees. It's an actual thing.
What does every doctor that graduated from medical school know?
Right?
So that must be a code clear.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
what's about to come out, you're not going to see physically.
Right. So, but there's sad news. So this information came from 2017 and 2018. And I thought, it's 2022. I need me an update.
4 or 5 years? Yeah, what happened?
So I looked it up. And as of 2020, that's as recent as I could get, her fiance ghosted her.
Oh, she got ghosted by the ghost.
She got ghosted.
Oh,
So
what a
That
shame.
doesn't mean had sex with a ghost. That means they left you.
yeah, no,
You got ghosted.
ghosted by the ghost. So they got engaged, and after they got engaged, he kept disappearing.
Go figure. He's a ghost.
Did he ever appear?
And started
Well,
partying too much.
Would that include like a ghost floating ring or an invisible ghostly ring on her finger?
You know what? I didn't look up the ring actually. I was too focused on the pregnancy, or
Yeah, I could understand that one.
I was a little
Yeah, they
distracted.
Um,
So she fell in love with this ghost named Ray in 2018. He is the one that she joined the Mile High Club with, because as they flew back to the U.S., they joined the Mile High Club.
God, I would have hated to sit next to that lady.
Right.
Denver, Colorado, you lucky state.
So she thinks they went to Thailand. Okay, as part of their engagement, right? And she thinks that he fell in with a bad crowd, and he started becoming very inconsiderate, and didn't care about romance anymore. He'd disappear for long periods of time, and when he came back, he'd bring other spirits, and the other spirits would stay around for days. She thinks he started doing drugs and partying.
Ghost drugs
pop
at ghost
it, yeah.
parties. Okay.
Yeah.
Probably hanging out at the haunted
Yeah.
mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
There's like a whole song they sing in that place.
right. So they called the wedding off because she couldn't handle his drugs and partying.
Had to have the gifts returned.
Yeah.
This is
I'm pretty sure he fell into a bad crowd, was smoking some of that marijuana and probably doing some ghost cane.
Right. So yeah. So I don't know if she's met up with the new ghost. We don't know about it yet. She's not pregnant yet that I know of. However, there's a song.
oh, God.
There's a song called Amethyst Realm, and it's sung by the Claypool Lennon Delirium. That's the name of the group. And I'm not going to read the words.
It's an ode to Amethyst Realm.
Yes, but I won't read the whole song. You just Google it. Just Google it. But they have a word. I referred to the word as the big O,
Mm-hmm.
right? They call it a fangasm.
Ooh.
They use the word fangasm
In the song.
in the song.
Love it.
So, yeah, there's your junk drawer for today.
It's like schizophrenia.
A fangasm.
A fangasm.
That's gotta go in my book of words.
Fangasm.
Brian,
So,
see what you learn when you're hanging out with us.
He's like, I'm trying to.
It's like never
I've
again.
learned 2 things today. Number 1, there's such thing as a ghost or a fangasm, and number 2, I learned I can't chain my wife to the stove anymore.
It's in poor
Damn it,
taste these days.
Not proper.
He's like, guys, I am trying to be credible here. Anyway, alrighty.
Brian, thanks for coming. We
Yeah.
appreciate having you. And again, touch again on your group name real quick.
Most definite. It's a Global United Paranormal Foundation. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and something called The Clapper.
Okay.
The clapper.
I've never heard of the clapper, but I'm gonna look it up.
It's kind of a toss-up between TikTok and Instagram.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of that, actually. I have. Okay, I lied. I've heard of it. All right, well, thank you again, and stay spooky, my haunty friends.
I love you, Nicholas.
Have a good one.
See you next time.
Hey, have a good night.
You've been listening to the Supernatural Hour at AdvancedParanormal.com. The Supernatural Hour is part of the Radio Ronin network found at RadioRonin.com. Copyright by Advanced Paranormal Services.